Hello everyone, this lesson is to replace the lesson that we would have had today, which is the day I'm recording this, which is Friday the 3rd of April. Now, I'm going to talk through some of this, and it's really important that you don't just use this PowerPoint, but you use the previous PowerPoint, the link for which is in EduLink, and Teams is for the YouTube video that I made, and also your textbook notes as well. So I'm going to go through an introduction to the 25-mark applied ethics question, eating animals is wrong. This is the last applied ethics topic that we'll look at. I'm going to show you a perfect introduction, and then I'm going to give you some things to talk about. And then the final task is going to be your choice, a detailed plan plus a conclusion, or a full 25-mark essay. Okay, and you've looked back through the questions that you've answered in terms of the previous lesson, here's a possible introduction to an eating animals is wrong essay. I'm going to read through it and then I'm going to explain the different constituent parts. So it goes like this. In this essay, I will argue that the idea of eating animals is not absolutely or inherently morally wrong. That means it's not wrong no matter what. According to Peter Singer, Immanuel Kant, and Jeremy Bentham, I will conclude, alongside Peter Singer, Immanuel Kant, and Jeremy Bentham, I will conclude that it is the treatment and well-being of animals while they're alive, along with how they are slaughtered, that matter. One of the biggest challenges that I will address is the ever-evolving moral minefield. Is a number of studies that discuss the impact of eating meat on climate change. While this might be a game changer, I feel that taken issue by issue, I can explain how eating a well looked after animal that has lived a happy life can be part of a virtuous life, fulfill a Kantian indirect duty, and correspond to the consideration of animals as moral agents. Okay, lots of detail. With an applied ethics introduction, it needs to be that detailed because it's essentially giving a full range of things that you're going to talk about in the essay itself. Every single sentence there is doing a job. So first sentence, I am answering the question. Eating animals is wrong. It's not absolutely wrong. Who says so? Well, I'm going to talk about Peter Singer, Immanuel Kant, and Jeremy Bentham. And this is how I'm going to conclude. Instead of saying it's not absolutely wrong, I'm going to say that this is how it can be moral. I've said that it's ever evolving. I've said that it's important to use evidence and studies. And I've also said that I'm going to explain using Kantian indirect duty. I'm going to talk about a virtuous life, and I'm going to talk about moral agents. They are all key terms. So if you take some time, pause this now and have a look back through sentence by sentence of that introduction. That is the sort of the perfect format of what an eating animals is wrong introduction for a 25-mark essay should look like. It doesn't have to be that because you might disagree. But what do you need to talk about in an eating animals applied ethics essay? Well, you definitely need to talk about Jeremy Bentham and his various different views. I've talked about an example here. It's really good to use examples. The starving scientist versus the dirty turkey burger from the previous lesson. You absolutely need to talk about Peter Singer, which is why that was one of the pieces of independent study. Linking to a climate change study is not on the specification, but I think it is increasingly important. And I think you absolutely need to talk about Kant and the difference between direct and indirect duties and his thought on it. The danger with Immanuel Kant is to just say he thinks that eating animals is okay. Okay, you need to talk about the possible interpretations of Kant. You could talk about Aristotle. You should talk about Cora Diamond, and I think it's from a number of people who said this as their conclusion: think global, buy local. I think Carenza and Hafs have both said that. But there are definitely some things that you need to talk about within there. And don't just mention one thing. You can talk about the different interpretations of Bentham, the different interpretations of Kant. You could mention other things as well, but that's a list of things that I think could be included in an Eating Animals is Wrong essay. If you just wanted to focus on Bentham, Singer and Kant, as long as you had examples, I think if you go into detail, that would be enough. So I'd like you to do either, number one, a detailed plan using the introduction, notes, what I've just talked about, and wider reading, in order with explanations and arrows showing how it links logically together, plus your own conclusion, or, and ideally, a full 25-mark essay. That should take you no longer than an hour and 10 minutes if you're going to plan it. But it absolutely shouldn't take you longer than that. And please remember that you need logical links. It needs to be robustly defended. Arguments need to be in their strongest possible forms. You need evidence, balance, no redundancy, philosophical and technical language, and a well-supported conclusion. This is all essential. If you have any questions, please ask me, but the more you can practice and the more effort you put into this, the better off you are going to be. This is putting everything that we've learnt together. Thanks very much.